What's up, everybody? Welcome to the season finale of the Billtendo show. Hard to believe we've been at it every week just about for over 6 months now. And we're going to be taking a break from after this episode until after the new year because reasons. And this episode, as always, brought to you by Billtendo.com. And guess what? If you haven't checked out the new Billtendo X Retro Lizard console, 10,000 games, 20 different systems. I finally appeased Mike with some Sega Saturn on there. There's a 40% off. $40 off discount, and it's automatically applied at checkout. So check it out. It's the Billtendo X Retro Lizard console on Billtendo.com. So, Mike, how's it going, buddy?
It's going okay. I'm okay. It's part of the reason we're going away for a while is because this is the busy time of year for me being a full employee of the federal government. It's really busy in December, and all of my kids' birthdays are in November and December, and my wife and my mother-in-law and my mother's birthday, and it's hard. So,
do you get along with your mother-in-law?
Yeah, I love her. She's perfect.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My mother-in-law I get along with really well. This is my second marriage. My first mother-in-law, not so much. That was tenuous. But some people have bad relationships with their mother-in-law, and I always wonder what that was like. That's not me.
Yeah, it's like some meme shit to
you
me.
Either. So
yeah, she retired from her job to watch my children, allowed me to save a ton of money when our kids were small, baby size, so they didn't have to go to daycare. I just paid her instead, and I was much happier with that. I had somebody I trusted watching just my kids. Yeah, no, she's perfect. She'll never hear the show or anything about it, but
right.
Shout out to Mary.
Don't let her hear it.
Yeah,
that's one of my two favorite things, man. Compliment people when they don't know they being complimented, and the best nickname a person ever has is the one they don't know they have.
Yeah.
That's the funniest nicknames, man.
Plus, I know I'm her favorite stepchild, so like that feeling alone, like makes you like somebody more when you know that you're the favorite. That's the best.
I don't know if I'm the favorite. I would have no idea.
Does Dallas have siblings?
Oh, yeah, she does. She has a sister that is 1 year older. She has a brother that's like 2 years younger. And she has a stepbrother and stepsister. And I think everybody's within, like 6-7 years of each other. So.
You still got a 20% chance that you're the favorite then.
Well, Jesse's married to a woman, so that brings my chances up to
25% then.
Right. So, and Joey's a son. Wait, so that would mean Dallas, Linda, Laura. I have a 33% chance of being the favorite. None of them are ever going to hear this, but Mike, is this weird that my wife's sister is also married to a guy named Bill?
No.
It's not weird?
No.
Okay, so let me explain something. And this is one of the funniest moments in my life because it absolutely was not funny. Okay, so I like Bill. Bill is a great guy. Sense of humor wise, we are on crazy different levels. So all of our absurd nonsense would never fly with Bill. He's very straight-laced. He doesn't get our types of humor and stuff like that. So I met him. I met his father at Christmas at their house, and they're both named Bill. And I was like, Bill, and like the doctor. Yep. Nothing, fucking nothing, dude. Dead silence. Nothing.
Well, maybe they've heard that joke a bunch of times. Maybe it stopped being
never
years
ago. I don't think
You don't think anybody's
they're
ever
not.
commented that all their names are Bill?
No, they are not the target audience for comedy.
All right.
Like I said, nicest people in the world. Just whatever Bill's sense of humor is, it's different from mine. You know, I'm strange, but it's really funny to me that that happened and that there was nothing. You know, it was just kind of deadpan.
Ugh. Yeah. I had to clear a burp there in case I said something really funny. I didn't want to burp in the middle of it, but I'm good now. And I didn't have anything funny to say anyway. So
We could just be completely absurd this episode since it's the
Wow.
season finale.
No, dude, I
Ta-da.
like you know how I like structure though. I don't get any joy if there's not like if there's like
Some kind of structure.
checkpoints and goals and we hit times. I'm not liking it otherwise. They don't get anything out of this.
Yeah, you got to get something out of it.
Okay.
Maybe the real something out of it is the friendship we've made along the way.
Maybe that could be it. But if our friendship isn't based on spreadsheets and me doing all the things that I wrote down for this episode, then it's not a real friendship. So.
Yeah, you are definitely more organized than I am. I'm always running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and you're like, "Hey, I've got that written down somewhere. I have a spreadsheet for that." Or
Yeah. But that makes me less fun. So I have to like force myself to be fun. Well, Bill, you know what other milestone is today for me? Is speaking of fun, tomorrow is my 1 year anniversary on Twitter.
oh, that's nice.
It
That's
is. It's a good
nice.
feeling. So we're trying to decide what we're gonna do for that. I haven't quite figured it out because everybody wants me to stream and I don't do that.
Right.
So then it was maybe like a groups thing. Twitter has like a pop-in thing where you can just voice chat together in a large group. People can come up and
Uh-huh.
talk, and so we're talking about that, or like a meme contest.
A lot of good ideas.
I haven't really decided yet, though.
Yeah, you know what? I think you should take an hour or two out of your time and do a group or a room or whatever it's called, and voice chat with people. Mike, you don't mind talking. You're just not, you know, super comfortable being on camera. So, um, why don't you do a voice room to where you guys could just talk? People can ask you questions about, um, how can you be so absurdist funny on one hand, and on the other hand, if you didn't have the ability to make spreadsheets, you'd jump out a fucking window. You
Yeah,
know?
I posted my child the other day getting her first vehicle because like occasionally I do like normal guy posts on there, and
Right.
somebody's like, it's wildly jarring to me that Quest guy is probably more well balanced than most of us. And I said, well, in, inside of me are two wolves, and then one is just like a dad wearing dad shoes, and then the other one is just crazy pile of like meme matter that I've accumulated over the last decades.
Right.
Like to keep it fresh. I can be both things.
I can be all things.
Yeah.
I am generous.
All right. We'll do some actual news before we have our fun
News. Okay.
Yeah. News. So this
I
week,
like the news, Mike.
I know you do.
I do.
One of the biggest stories this week, and we have a few days yet, but it's already been leaked, is that on Sunday, we're going to get, or not on Sunday, I'm sorry, on last Sunday. Sorry. That in early December, we're going to get our first trailer of Grand Theft Auto, the new Grand Theft Auto game 6. But they haven't said the exact date or anything about it, so everything is speculation. But on Twitter, on the 8th, they said, first trailer for Grand Theft Auto early December, and that came straight from Sam Hauser at Rockstar. So, of course, it got like a billion million retweets, and now everybody's got their speculation ball rolling. So, do you, Billy, have any predictions for Grand Theft Auto 6, knowing what we know about the series so far?
I really don't, because I don't. I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna date myself here or just come off like a jerk, but I don't have any predictions because I don't give a shit. Um, I lost all interest in Grand Theft Auto years ago, and whereas my kids are like, "Hey, the new Grand Theft Auto is gonna come out," they're still not super excited for it. I think Rockstar took too long. I mean, whatever. That's a whole different subject. But do I have any predictions? Yeah, it's going to be just like GTA 5, except bigger with more missions and more cars, and you know.
So, some of the things that through like small leaks and other drop reports and things that people dig through, and whatever, everybody's got speculations, but there's
Right.
some things that we've got some small tidbits of information. It looks like that it's probably going to be a duo of protagonists this time, as opposed to a single or a multi-layered story. So
That's interesting.
like a Bonnie and Clyde style bank robber, male female. So you can start as the male or the female protagonist in the game, and then branch your story from there, depending on how you start your character.
Nice. Like Little Nightmares?
Yes, like Grand Theft Auto 6 Little Nightmares.
Oh, would that be a nice little crossover? That'd be fun.
Yeah,
No, you think they'll have microtransactions?
I don't know. We've sort of peaked microtransactions. I think we're hitting that, like, where we're coming down off the mountain now. Not that they're going to go away, but I feel like people have been oversaturated with them. So now there has to be some recoil. There's got to be a rubber band effect to how many
Right.
there have been in recent gaming. So in
And
my eyes, we're finding
yeah,
we're coming down the other side of the slope now. There'll probably be some expensive ones and some cheaper ones. I just feel like there's going to be less per game. More stuff will be included in the game because they want to present value. Like, they
right.
want the game,
And
like what's going on with Baldur's Gate 3, where the value is already there in the game, and then if you want to add something, it'll be added, and
right,
people will be more receptive to buying it then.
right. Kind of like maybe less microtransactions, more DLC expansion packs.
Yeah.
You know that
Macro transactions.
right. So like I have a lot less of a problem with DLC expansions, unless they're abused. But in general, I have a horrible opinion of microtransactions, but I have a fairly decent opinion of DLC. The only like my biggest problem with DLC is when it's something that is already in the game and it's blocked off until you pay for it.
Yeah.
So obviously, we all have a line on what we think is acceptable and what's not. You know.
I agree. Um, I'm not really a microtransactions guy. More on mobile, I guess. Because I get free money mobile. I do like Google rewards. Like, so then if I want something on Christ, I haven't really played any mobile games that required anything, but like Candy Crush. Like if I wanted to refill my stun Candy Crush so I could play
You
over,
look like a dude that plays Clash of Clans,
or like, well, no, I don't. But I
World
used to
of
play.
Tanks.
Nope, that's on. Well, I do, but on Xbox, not on phone. But Words with Friends, after they decided that you couldn't do the ad free anymore, I'm the kind of guy that will use $4 of my free online money to go ad free for a month or something like that. Like those transactions make sense to me because it's not permanent and I hate it, but it's all small enough. Like if we stop playing in a month, I don't have to play anymore. I don't have to spend any more money. So
Right.
But yeah, World of Tanks. If I had more disposable and expendable income, then I would expend more on games like that because World of Tanks is super fun. But the best time is when you have double EXP, and that's a microtransaction. So
Yeah. I actually saw somebody on TikTok today complaining about microtransactions. Basically, it was like, he was talking about game series that should just be discontinued, that have fully run their course. You should just let them go. And two of them that he mentioned, and one specifically, was 2K and Madden. And he said 2K at the time when it came out was a good budget alternative
right.
basketball game, and now it is a AAA game that is 90% microtransactions, and the game hasn't been good in years. Like the last good 2K game was probably 8 years ago. So,
I
I,
don't
I
think that I've played a 2K game since the Dreamcast era.
yeah, I was about to say I don't play 2K, and I generally don't play EA whenever I can avoid it. Anything EA.
See, I'll play whatever the best sports game is, but I have to have a reason. Like someone else
Yeah.
has got to be like, all right, we're starting a Madden league because you used to be able to do multiplayer online leagues where everybody picks a team and then I'm like, all right, well now I'm Madden because I have to do that, and then that was it. I haven't bought a Madden game. I don't think I've even bought the last 5 years. So
Mm.
okay, smooth transition. Then you ready for a smooth transition?
Smooth. Okay.
So from Madden League to another failing league, the Overwatch League. Have you familiar with the Overwatch League at all, Billy?
I am familiar with the Overwatch League only because I used to do a podcast, and one woman that was on the podcast was a very, very heavy Overwatch player, and she used to tell me about it all the time. I've never actually played Overwatch myself.
That's fun. You would like it. As long as you didn't play the second one, it's good.
Okay.
Started in 2017. Don't quote me on that. 2016, 2017. Pretty much a year after the game got really, really popular. And then Blizzard decided they were going to let a bunch of people buy into this league, like franchise style, 20 million a team. Each city got one team. So if somebody in your city has already bought a team for $20 million, then you couldn't. You'd have to buy it for a different city. But the idea was that there would be like a season, and there'd be like just NFL or the NBA. There'd be the teams would travel. There'd be like a home court spot where we played the league games, and yeah, it sounds really stupid. And guess what? It's bankrupt now, and it went for a little while. The pandemic killed most of the stuff,
Right.
traveling and all that stuff, and then people were streaming it free online because they never like that was the idea. You're supposed to be able to watch it online, but you're supposed to be so excited about watching it for free that you would go see it if it was in your city. And nobody did that between the pandemic and then coming out of the pandemic. So everybody's going to go bankrupt. Blizzard's going to buy out the people who want to keep their teams, want to keep their teams. They'll probably end up spending 150, $200 million to buy out the rest of these teams out of this league so they can quietly shut it down.
Well, just to speak to the veracity of its success, I never even knew that existed. So, um, okay. Apparently, it could have been more successful.
It could have been. They're probably because you've seen Major League Game I mean, it's been on like
Yes.
ESPN2 and stuff like that. It's on
The
TV.
Ocho on 8, the Ocho
Yeah, the
show.
Ocho. Yeah. Even like the drone. There's like a drone driving league that I've seen on like regular channels like TBS and stuff like that. So it's not like these things don't work. I just don't know that they're ever going to be profitable. It's like the difference between selling video games online and
Right.
selling video games in a brick and mortar store. The investment is enormous up front, and then you have to be good at it, and it has to make money. Otherwise, you should have just stuck with what you're doing. So.
Right. For sure.
Well, that's where they're at.
Well, that sucks. Except that it's Blizzard, so I'm not gonna feel horrible for them.
Oh, you shouldn't. No, there shouldn't. You shouldn't feel bad at all.
I feel bad for the fans that were into it. How's that?
Okay, but they can keep being into it because they can still play it for free and they can watch it online for free. So all the fun is still there.
Good news, everyone.
Okay, Mr. Farnsworth.
I like doing that to my kids when I'm about to tell them something horrible. Like I need them to go upstairs and clean their bathroom or something. You know, like your bathroom's gross. You need to clean it. But I always throw the good news everyone first, and then get them all hyped up, and then crush them.
I used to when it was the Patriots haven't been in the playoffs for a year and a half now, but when the Patriots had a playoff game or the Red Wings were in the playoffs, as soon as kids would start talking close to it, I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm going to the Angry Dome, and I just go to any room in the house and shut the door, and then that was it. Nobody can talk to me anymore. We're all Farnsworth on the inside.
Yeah, but not Hubert.
No. One more news story. Nintendo Switch Online, the expansion pack specifically, the so now is that NSO Plus? Is there Sega or is it handhelds that's on the expansion?
Oh, they have Sega Genesis.
Okay, so the handhelds are part of the regular NSO, and the Genesis is on the expansion with the 64. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 38 million subscribers now, Billy. For the that's
wow.
just the plus. And since last year, when they did the same time, they're doing about 2 million more new subscribers, not upgrades, new people signing up that immediately sign up for Expansion Pack Plus.
Nice. I've seen complaints online that they're just not doing enough for the expansion pack.
Well, we just got Mario Party 3 or whatever now, so they are. The problem is they slowed down too much. They should have stuck to their.
I think so.
Game a month or game, game every 3-4 weeks or whatever, and they slowed way down, and then they started spreading too much. Like all of a sudden, they did a bunch of Sega games, and then they do a couple Super Nintendo games, and they do one N64 game. They should do it in packs. Like every quarter, it should be like, all right, this quarter here's this 3 months pile of games, and give you 20 games, and then it looks like a big pile instead of one or two. They didn't do that. Do that, Billy.
Yep.
Obviously, do know because they're making money hand over fist, reselling games that are very accessible, minus like Crusader NT on Genesis is pretty cool. That's cool to have there.
Especially if you buy the Billtendo X Retro Lizard from my website, all of these games are super accessible.
That's true, Billy.
Plug, Mike. I'm sorry.
But you can't do your thing. Can you play your Retro Lizard thing online? That's their big selling point. That's why they're selling so many of them.
No.
It's because they can.
No, you can't.
Mario Party Online and stuff like that. That's popular.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's good. I have to argue with my kids because kids are stupid,
Yeah.
And they start trying to tell me that like the good Mario parties, as they put it, are like 8 and 9. And I'm like, are you crazy? The good Mario parties are 1 and 2. Mario Party 2 is the best Mario Party.
I like it. I also liked 5. Well, that's the one before the microphone. Maybe it was 4. 4 or 5.
4 was before the microphone. 5
had
was
the microphone.
with the microphone, I'm pretty sure. 6 and 7 definitely had the microphone.
So somewhere in that 4 or 5 GameCube range was good. The one on the Wii U I liked, and I know that one's not popular. Is that 10?
10?
Yep.
That is absolute garbage. The worst Mario Party game ever made. What are you all doing in a car together? This game makes no sense.
I like
Throw it
that.
out the damn window.
Nope, I like that.
No.
Because
No.
fond memories,
Can't
because my
convince me.
kid, my middle child was young, and Bowser was on the Wii U screen, and you controlled all the Bowser mini games when you were about. So like my wife and my 2 kids at the time, before I had my 3rd child, could be the 3 people in the carton, and I could be Bowser, and that was super fun. 4 players on that one, fun, really good time.
Right.
Okay, so then I liked it. So don't tell me, like, my whole online personality is based around fuck you. This is the thing I like. This is what you get. So yeah.
Well, I'm gonna come at you because that's a terrible game.
It's not a bad game. You just don't like it.
And I don't say that about a ton of games. You know, I don't just hate on games to hate them. That game is not for me. I'm not the target audience.
That's different. A terrible game and a game that's not for you are completely different things, William.
Well, they messed it up.
You messed it up. You weren't playing it right. Just like Quest 64. You're just not playing it right.
You can play Quest 64 on the Retro Wizard console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Beautiful. Upscaled in HD.
No, I actually every time somebody says something like that, I go one step in the opposite direction. I now have a black and white TV and an RF converter.
I need fewer polygons.
I'm gonna take the RF converter. I'm gonna run it through one of those like old school antenna signal splitters, and I'm gonna
right
do the 2 streams to the back of the screws on the back of a black and white RCA TV,
like we did for Atari.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep, we're gonna make it fuzzy as fuck.
Every time somebody tells me that there's a new innovation to make games from that era look better, I'm gonna just do one step. I'm gonna make it look so bad, you're not even gonna fucking know what to do with me. Like, there's not even gonna be polygons.
I'm gonna mess with it so bad. It's gonna de-render in the middle of the game on my black and white TV.
I'll decide.
I'm playing it on a black and white portable TV at this point.
That's gonna be one of those
radio TV.
A 3-inch hand crank TV out in my yard. Yep.
Mike, let's do that. Let's. I'm gonna see if I can get.
This is stuff I do already, dude.
Huh?
This is what I do already. What are you talking about? I've got a little battery powered TV. I just haven't figured out. It doesn't have any inputs on it, so
I can help you with that.
Yeah, I'm sure I could take care of it too. I just don't want to wreck it because I like it.
Yeah.
All right, Billy. We're halfway through the episode. Last episode of the season. Okay. Yep. Yeah, we are. So, what was your big finale thing you wanted to do today?
Oh, we're going to talk about the announcement of the Legend of Zelda movie, which has finally officially been announced after 1,000 false urban rumors. So we're going to do some fan casting. Mike has his picks, and I have my picks. And, Mike, because I love you, dude, I made a second list.
What is the difference between
the worst possible people to play these roles?
I don't like that. I think I'm going to prefer your regular list, I think.
Oh, my regular list is choppy at best. You're going to like it.
Okay. All right. I'm on board. Let's see here.
I've made some judgment calls.
On both lists?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So, just so people are aware, Billy is excited about this movie. He says he'll be excited when he sees it and likes it. So he's not super excited. I am the opposite. I don't think a live action Zelda movie is going to be good, especially one that's produced by the producer of Morbius and directed by the guy who did the Maze Runner trilogy and the writer of Rise of Skywalker. If you've heard these words before put together, yeah, there's a lot that could go wrong here. So Billy's list, like he said, is a normal person list, and mine is also a normal person list, but it's the way that this is my cast is what I would need for me to watch the movie. It's the people, it's the combination of people I would need to see to make it interesting for me to go. Because I'm not going to go to the theaters and watch this unless my kids tell me I have to.
So what character do you want to start with?
I don't care. You start. This is your game, Billy. It's not. We're not casting a Quest 64 movie here, so you lead and I follow.
Well, I mean, if it was a Quest 64 movie, it'd be Daniel Radcliffe.
No, you're thinking about this too hard.
Yeah,
I would entirely cast people that you don't know. It'd be based completely on acting merit, no names whatsoever. And then if the movie failed, I could blame it entirely on that. Like, well, we didn't have a big budget for actors.
What is this, Cube?
Yep.
All right. So
who's your link?
So, like I said, all of my picks are pretty wildly out of pocket, right? And I don't want to step on your toes here, but I disagree heavily with the two most current online fan castings, which are Timothée Chalamet and Tom Holland. I don't think it should be either one of those guys. What?
I have seen those. I've seen that, and Tom Holland's just the flavor, and that's why it's the way it is. You know, you're just going to get used to it.
Okay, so I think they're both fantastic actors, but do I think they're good for Link? No. So who I put up for Link, and hear me out on this, is the kid that played fucking Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter.
I know who you're talking
I don't know his real. Yeah. I think that kid has. Well, he's not a kid, but this is the thing with my casting. My casting is not 16-year-old Link and Zelda. My casting is adult Link and Zelda. Okay, so there's a little bit of flexibility there. I think the guy is a phenomenal actor that we watched growing up, and I really think he could pull off the strong, near silent protagonist that Link really is.
That would be, I just looked him up. Tom Felton is his name.
That sounds about right.
I
think that guy was a good actor.
Yeah. So I picked Sacha Baron Cohen.
What?
Yeah.
Ali G?
Yeah.
Booyakasha.
Borat.
Can I get some reasoning behind this pick?
Because I think that he's the first person I think of when I think of an expressive person that didn't need to talk to do the acting.
That's a good point. It's a good point. That's a really weird pick. I thought my picks were kind of out of pocket. So, okay. Okay. Let's move on to the big bad, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you have Ganon? So I had Dark Link second on my list. Because I don't know. I did all N64 era characters. So we don't know what the movie's going to be about, right?
That's true. So if I had, so do your Dark Link and I'll do who I think should be Dark Link. And that's why I said, when you asked me what direction I was headed, I was like, I want to be able to think because, all right, I'm just going to go into it. My Dark Link would be the kid that played Joffrey in Game of Thrones. That guy would be a against Draco playing Link, just a evil representation of the good. Yeah. Can't remember that guy's name either.
That's Jack Gleason.
Yeah, he quit acting for a number of years, and I think he just decided to come back because people hated him so much. But that just proves that he was a phenomenal actor at a very
Yeah,
young
yeah.
age.
No, you did it correct then. Yeah. So I have Bill O'Reilly from my Dark Link. Are you telling me you can't get behind Bill O'Reilly being a bad guy?
Oh no, no, I can get behind him being a bad guy.
Plus,
That's
he'll
pretty
probably just
easy.
show up in blackface for free. So,
Right.
just do his own makeup at home.
And they're like, dude, we're gonna CGI you like as a shadow, and he's like,
And then
no,
he's
I
like,
want to wear it.
no, I was going to do this for my show today anyway.
Right? No, I already had it on. It was for something else I was
Yeah.
doing.
Yep. It's all ready to go.
Oh, good lord! All right,
All right. So I picked the next. Now it's your turn to pick. Next character. What are you going to do next?
Chic.
Okay. I didn't have a Sheik, but I can ad lib this one.
Okay,
So give me your Sheik, and then I'll give you my Sheik.
Theron.
Who's that? Charlize Theron?
Yes.
Okay, I could see that.
As. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, she's in good shape. She can fight. Like she can movie fight. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she can pull off the action of the role. And also, I think she could pull off being a strong semi silent character without being crazy about it. You know?
Yeah. Okay. So the second you said Sheik, and I thought about the character, the first person that came to mind is Miley Cyrus.
I could kind of see that.
I think she's got the body
As
type.
soon as she talks, you're gonna think she had.
She doesn't
Yeah.
even need to talk that much.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
she's going to muffle her voice.
No. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And she's got the moves.
Is it weird?
She's flexible. You've seen her on stage doing her thing.
Is it weird that when Miley Cyrus talks, I actually like it. I find it attractive, and I realize that she has the voice of a 60-year-old smoker at this point.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, that's attractive for her.
Sings like an angel too.
Like,
Like I think she's gonna end up
yeah,
being like the most influential singer of this last era. Pretty easy.
her speak. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that she sings like an angel, because her speaking voice and her singing voice are so vastly different.
Yeah.
Like they don't sound like they come out of the same person.
Yeah, it's like Amy Winehouse.
Oh yeah, because she had that real thick. Oi, goddamn, we gonna go over here, ain't it?
Yep. And then she sang, and it was like out of a fucking music box or something. Like it was just crazy. Like
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I
So-
love Amy Winehouse, dude.
Let's see. I mean, I guess we'll get through the big ones, then we can do bit players. So for Ganon, I have Carlos Mencia.
Why?
Why not?
I don't know.
Do you
I
want
feel
to
I
like?
took this
Do you want to
movie
like the
seriously than you
person
did.
who's playing Ganon? Like, I don't want to do like a Jack Black Bowser thing all over again. I had to pick somebody I don't like. So if I'm gonna go this time, it's got to be the bad guy's got to be somebody I don't like and I'm not rooting for, and that's Carlos Mencia.
Okay, I get the reasoning behind that, but a more realistic, amazing casting for Ganon / Ganondorf.
Real.
Oh, guys, if you want. Idris Elba.
Okay.
I don't think I need to explain that.
No.
I think he could pull it off.
Maybe. What freaks me out about this movie in general is that it's live action. So he doesn't really have the like structure for Ganon, because Ganon keeps getting more weird looking and Alba's too good looking, I think, is what I'm trying to say. Like
He is a beautiful
he's
man.
very traditionally good looking.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
Mm-hmm.
don't see it, where Carlos Mencia is just this horrible man beast. And I feel like we could
Yeah.
all root for that. Like, yeah, that makes sense. I hate him. Thank you. Thank you for the correct casting of Carlos Mencia as Ganon.
So, all right, who you got next on your list?
Zelda.
All right, let me hear who you got.
Amanda Bynes.
Dude, did you do half of your picks from Nickelodeon?
No, this is my dude. This is my list. You saw me writing it. I told you I was doing it.
What happened to Amanda Bynes? Where
She
is
had a
she?
she had a drug and alcohol problem. She went through rehab, and then she was in
Mm-hmm.
custodial care for a while because she had a breakdown. Now she's on the way back. This is her.
I did.
Amanda Bynes. This is her. This is her. Robert Downey Jr. moment is to be Zelda and make a comeback to the person that we all knew and loved from the 2000s and late 90s. Like, we can get Amanda Bynes back through Zelda.
Um, I would be with that. Now you mentioned, like, I have my picks, but at the same time, would I like to see Amanda Bynes have that Robert Downey Jr. moment, especially on a film like Zelda? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Now my list doesn't sound so
So,
crazy, does it, Billy? It's just all coming together.
some of it still does. Okay, so my Zelda, and you got to let it for a moment and really
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it.
Okay,
Lady Gaga.
I like that. I was trying to fit her into my cast too, and I just couldn't find the spot for it. Every spot that I put Lady Gaga, I thought Reba McEntire would be better.
So I would have never, ever, a couple of years ago, ever considered Lady Gaga for any acting role.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me say, I've never seen A Star Is Born. I
I've
don't know
seen it.
anything
I've
about
seen
that
it a
movie.
bunch of times.
Of course, you have. So, but I did see her act in American Horror Story
Yep.
Hotel, and she was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, she's
She
good in
carried
everything
that
she
show.
does. Everything she does, she's good at.
Dude, I almost skipped that season of American Horror Story because I didn't think it was that great. And the only thing that kept pushing me through it for like the first half of it was her acting. I thought her character and her portrayal of that character was phenomenal.
So I really liked her on my list. I wanted her as either the Great Fairy or Navi, but it didn't matter where I put her. It made it seem like it was like overshadowing the Amanda Bynes comeback story. So I had to I took her out 3 times because she'd be too good.
That's weird. That's probably the only person that we both would have included.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it screwed up. It screwed up my whole my roster. Just got too shook up by Lady Gaga.
So, since you mentioned her, Navi,
Yep,
who you got?
Cardi B.
Oh, it okay. So, oh my God, is it because she's already super annoying in the game and you thought of the most annoying voice to be coming out of Navi?
She just has the voice. It doesn't. That's not a. She's even in a live action movie. She's not going to be. They're not going to dress somebody up like Barry. It's going to be a voice over animation thing.
Right.
So
Right.
Cardi B, yeah.
I think there is someone that was born for that spot. Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter, who is named after the Legend of Zelda games. Come on, give her the Navi job.
She's too good for that.
Nah,
You
maybe
think
she should be high.
so?
Maybe she should be a better character, but to me, she would do a good Navi.
I think that the world would be rooting for her
Maybe
if she was Zelda. but I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
putting her as the most annoying character from the series is the right move.
Well, that's the thing is that she can make Navi likable.
No, she can't. So, full stop. Not happening.
Listen
Nope.
over here.
And I don't want Cardi B to do a voice either. I just want her to go and like read the. I want her to read the lines like she's reading like a McDonald's menu.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I threw some money on my list. Now this is not N64 Zelda.
Yeah.
It's actually Wind Waker to current. But I wanted to cast Beetle. I really did.
Okay. I don't have a Beetle, so you're out on your own on this one, so I can't even argue it.
Adam Driver. He's got the
Dude, I love Adam Driver.
He's got the acting chops to play like these absurd, weird roles. These really like these characters that are just out of pocket.
Yeah.
You know? So I think Adam Driver as Beetle would be like the cameo that makes the movie. You know? Except for my one other. So I mean, if you had to pick somebody to play Beetle, who would you pick?
I don't know, man. That's the part of now we're getting into Zelda games that I've only touched and I haven't played. So I don't have a good feeling for any of those characters. Outside of the N64 ones, the only one I think I have is Tingle, and it's only because I've played the Tingle D game.
Dude, I have a Tingle on my list. Of all people to put on my list, huh?
What you got?
Please tell me we got the same person. I got fucking Danny DeVito, bro.
Oh, I got Rob Schneider.
DeVito would be better.
I think he's getting too old for that role. Tingle's really feminine. I don't think Danny can do it anymore. Like Danny is.
Do you want to know who I'm?
Danny is too beat into It's Always Sunny. That's the Danny we know now. Like there is no other one. That he's the trash man, and that's who he is now.
So, yeah, I just want to hear Tingle say, "I like whores."
Okay, see that it's a thing like that. One line that could get me on board, but I still feel like Rob Schneider would just do it. Like I think he would do it without any like backstory whatsoever. They just give him a pair of tights, and they'd be like, "You really like love and hot air balloons," and he'd be like,
"Do you want to know who I put on my list if they like my casting of the worst people to cast for these parts?"
Was it Rob Schneider?
No, it was actually for Tingle. It was Jack Black.
See, yeah, like, same thing. He's too good. Like your list is too. I feel like your list is too lofty. Like it's too good.
Oh, like
it's not how movies work, dude. You have 3 people they pay a lot. You have 1 person everybody likes, and everybody else is just throwaway C actors, and that's how you gotta. I can tell you've never casted something before.
Who do you think would be the worst person to play Link?
The worst person to play Link?
Yeah.
I don't know. Vin Diesel?
I got either Chris Pratt or The Rock.
Okay. See, I don't think Chris Pratt would do terrible at it. I think he'd have a lot of fun and people would be just more pissed about the Mario thing carrying over or whatever than they would about Link. But I could see The Rock being terrible at it.
Well, the reason I have Chris Pratt is because he was Mario, so he would make a terrible Link. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Let's see. Who else we got on the list here? Well, do you have the King of Hyrule?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
But who do you have?
I have Chuck Woolery, like the game show host.
Chuck Woolery?
Yeah.
I would like to see Sean Connery.
He's dead, dude.
Is he?
Yep. That's how we got GoldenEye. Because Sean Connery's dead. Because he was his family was holding back the 4 Bonds licensing in GoldenEye. That's why we couldn't have it. Now we have it. That's why it's on the NSO now. So yeah, you can have that all you want, but it'll have to be AI, and then people will hate you for it. For that choice. You know, like Match Game,
People,
Chuck Woolery, he's like classic game show voice. He just needs to be a big, burly, smooth voice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had
It's
like
like thick
somebody's
like
picture
syrup
in
and
mind, but
just
I can't.
fluffy
I
like
can't name
pancakes,
him.
Billy.
Huh?
His voice is like thick like syrup, and then it lays like a stack of fluffy pancakes. Chuck Woolery. All right, what else we got? What about? Do you have like a great fairy?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't like your choice? You don't like your great fairy choice?
You're making me feel weird about stuff. Okay. Great Fairy. Maybe one of my favorite actresses, if not my favorite, and who I honestly believe is by far the most beautiful woman in Hollywood. And I feel like the Great Fairy should be the most beautiful woman in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Morena Baccarin.
I don't know who that is.
You ever seen Firefly?
Like the one season TV show?
Yes.
Bits and pieces, but no, I have never sat down and watched it.
Stargate SG-1? Deadpool?
Yes. What was she in Deadpool?
She was the hot girlfriend in the first one.
Okay. All right. Well, okay.
Like if you saw her in Firefly, she was a companion, which was basically a prostitute. And she was always beautiful. In Stargate SG-1, she was the Aura side, which was basically a goddess, a fire goddess.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, always beautiful. She carries herself with a lot of composure for those roles. I don't know. Got a thing for her, man. I don't know what to tell you. Got a thing for Morena Baccarin. I got a thing for Nelly Furtado.
I like Nelly Furtado
Neither
too.
one of them
She's cute.
return my DMs.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
a shame.
saying.
I think
Yeah.
so. I have Helen Hunt on my list for the Great Fairy, and it's because Twister is my favorite movie, and I feel like we need to cast more people from Twister, and we can't do Philip Seymour Hoffman, so then Helen Hunt.
Mike, I don't. Are you okay?
What do you mean? I feel good, dude. I feel fresh.
I'm curious if you had a stroke before you wrote this list.
The internet's gonna love my list, Billy. I post my list on Twitter. I'm gonna come back after this show. You're gonna love it. My list it's composed, Billy. It's thought out, top to bottom, all ranges of humans. You need all that. I've got the Happy Mask Salesman is 6'9".
What? Okay, I almost agree with that, except for he's a piece of shit, and I don't think
Yeah,
anybody should
like the
ever give
Happy
him
Mask
money for
Salesman. No one likes
anything.
him.
Right.
He's got the expression correct. Like he just does that thing with his teeth all the time.
Oh, you know who else could play the Happy Mask Salesman? Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
You seen that
Yeah.
creepy smile
Yeah.
he's tried to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, they both have that super creepy smile, man.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. That's fine. See, now you have to think beyond just the actor. It's the attributes and their personality going into the role. Like it's more than just a name. They got to be the person.
Let me throw this one at you and tell me how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Amy Schumer as Jabu Jabu.
Once again, Jabu Jabu. I don't. That character doesn't. I don't know that character.
He's the whale you go into in Ocarina of Time.
Oh, okay.
Jabu Jabu.
Big whale. All right. Yeah. See, that's man. That's too much Zelda for me. You know how surface level Zelda fan I am? Like very surface level.
You're so shallow, Mike.
I know. I Zelda's never been my thing. Like, do you have how about like a great Deku tree? You got one of those?
So obviously it would just have to be somebody with a really cool voice.
Yep.
Tim Robinson.
I like Tim Robinson. You know I like Tim Robinson.
He's. I mean, imagine the Great Deku Tree with like a sarcasm to him instead of the wise old grandfather. You know?
Okay. I liked him. I picked Ice Cube.
Yeah, again, it's all about the voice, man.
Yeah. That was I was thinking like somebody had to have a low voice, it had to be bellowing, and it has to occasionally scare me. And I feel like that's Ice Cube. Like it's gotta be respected. He's gotta have a respected voice.
Yeah. It could also be Val Kilmer.
Okay. I like Val Kilmer's voice.
Except Val Kilmer can't talk anymore. I forgot about that.
Because he had cancer, didn't he? Like throat cancer?
Yeah. It's some kind of throat thing where he lost his ability to speak.
Yeah.
And that's weird. Speaking of which, let me bring this up. This is neither here nor there, but I've been seeing clips pop up on my TikTok of fucking Deadwood. Not Deadwood. Tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, all these clips with Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp. And so I'm seeing a lot of Val Kilmer, right? And I'm super into it. And I'm showing my wife some of these clips, and I'm like, oh, you remember this? This was awesome. My wife has never seen Tombstone.
That's a little weird. It's not super weird, though.
I find it a little weird also. We're going to rectify this shortly. We might go rectify this in a few minutes when you and I are done here.
Watching Tombstone?
Yeah. Well, yo, you know we got to watch Tombstone now, right?
You just might as well text her while we're at it. Let's see, what else? I got to look at my list here. What did we not do? Impa? Did we do Impa? Did you have an Impa?
I didn't. No.
You got a feeling for anybody for Impa?
So Impa and...
So this was a throwaway casting for me. I needed somebody who would make Amanda Bynes look better, and I went with Tia Tequila because she's such a monster human at this point.
Tia Tequila?
Yeah.
Yeah, she really is.
And she wouldn't have a lot of lines. She just had to be weird and make Amanda Bynes look like Zelda.
Well, she's definitely going to make Amanda Bynes look good.
And then maybe during even this is one of those. So I headcanoned this, and I thought that maybe this, if one person was gonna walk off this and leave the movie, that it'd be her, and then they'll miss it. Be like, we tried.
Yeah, we're not even worried about it at this point.
Yeah, nobody would even follow her. They just clean out their truck. Like, all right, bye. Sorry. We'll just go get Snooki to do it instead. She'll do it.
I'll put shit. I didn't write it down because I'm like, I'll definitely remember that. But I had somebody for Dompe the Gravekeeper. And I'm like, I'll remember it. And guess what? I didn't remember it.
How do you forget Buscemi? Because that's who that needs to be.
Oh, that's who it was.
Because it looks like Steve Buscemi.
He does a little bit, yeah.
The only other, getting close to the end here, the only other one I think I have is Skull Kid. I think that's the only one we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
And I did Machine Gun Kelly for that because we need one more young person attractor to get people into this movie.
Yep. So
plus he's wiry like that, Kid, like a jackal.
Yeah, he's a wiry lunatic.
Yeah.
With no discernible musical talent. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And I could see him doing the arm thing.
Right. Yeah, without a doubt.
And the head shake.
I want to say I have seen fan castings online where a lot of people are saying they should get Machine Gun Kelly to play Link, and that sounds atrocious to me. He was in that movie Bird Box. He's not a very good actor. The only thing I've seen him in where he did any half decent acting was he must have had his head up Tommy Lee's asshole for 6 months, because when he played Tommy Lee in The Dirt, he was half decent
I
in that.
haven't seen that.
You haven't seen The Dirt?
Mm-mm.
Good movie. You should watch that. It's basically like a dramatization of the early years of Motley Crue.
I could watch that. I think I would like that.
And Machine Gun Kelly plays Tommy Lee, and uh, he must have spent a lot of time with him because he has like the weird little mannerisms down
Mm-hmm.
of a young Tommy Lee. So you didn't cast Jared Leto anywhere in your?
So when I worked at a grocery store in the 90s, well, 2000, late 90s, early 2000s, I won't say her name, but I worked this bank teller who was she's a great girl. Like we partied a lot. She was lots of fun, but she was one of those people that had like nothing to tie her down. So she went to she could just jump on a bus or jump on a plane. And she ended up meeting Jared Leto in Oklahoma City before he was, well, just when 30 Seconds was kind of just starting and they weren't a big thing yet. And she had sex
Right.
with him a
But
couple
he,
times. So, and then she would show me the text messages from him, and they were so weird that I don't want to be associated with him ever in my life. So.
yeah. Yeah, well, especially from that time. So he was already semi-famous to younger people because he was Jordan Catalano in My
Yeah.
So-Called Life.
Yep.
I know a lot of people that were into that show in their teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think it was on that long. Like what? Like 1 or 2 seasons?
I think it
It
was
wasn't
I
that.
think it was longer than that. I think you're
Okay,
thinking. Okay, it wasn't as long as Degrassi, but it was still like medium. Maybe 3 seasons, 4.
I'm gonna look.
Okay,
Hold on.
I won't stop you.
Good.
There's
Can't
nothing
stop.
better
Won't
than
stop.
you being really convicted behind something and then being wrong. So I like to let you just take care of that yourself. But yeah, other people that I had real problems with not putting it. So I like Kevin Smith and his pile. Jason Mewes would be
19
fun for
episodes,
me.
one season.
Oh man, I thought it was way more than that. Maybe it just felt long.
Yeah. I mean, it did have Claire Danes, which was the best thing about the whole series. Anyway, it
Mhm.
was super popular, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know why it only had one season, but Leto had come off of that and he had just started 30 Seconds to Mars. I met him at a festival
Mm-hmm.
in Biloxi, Mississippi, at this festival they have on the grounds of the Coast Coliseum every year called CPR Fest.
Yeah.
And 30 Seconds to Mars, he actually gave me a demo of their single that they were playing there, and it was 30 Seconds to Mars' first single. And I talked to him for a few minutes, and he was very nice and polite. However, you mentioned like your friend hooked up with him and he was weird about it and stuff. So from the time of right before starting 30 Seconds to Mars up until recently, allegations of him, let's be very polite about it, um, being inappropriate with
Yeah.
underage female fans have been extremely prevalent, um, and some of the situations being almost and to the point of being violent, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yep.
So,
And
um,
like I saw that firsthand 10 years ago. Let me do the math in my head here, because I'm old. 20 years ago, that would be now, or like 18 to 20 years ago. So yeah, that's when I say things were weird back then. It was like, so we all, it's inside Jared Leto information here, but he would message her, and one would be super nice and like, hey, when's the next time you're coming down this way? And then the next one would be the exact opposite, like all in caps,
right,
calling her like, female slur words and stuff like that.
right.
because she wasn't immediately
Derogatory
taken.
term,
Yeah,
all caps derogatory term for promiscuous lady.
some of those type of things. Yeah.
Right. So like that's weird for me because I also saw the dichotomy of the situation. Like I didn't know about his allegations when I met him, and I thought he was extremely nice and polite, and I also found him very charismatic. That being said, after meeting him, I see how he could end up with those allegations if the person I met is the personality that people think they're getting involved with.
Yeah. I think that's probably that way. I mean, I'm not trying to justify what he supposedly has done and stuff, but that feels like
Right.
more of like a celebrity type problem where you feel like you're getting somebody you saw on the screen and not who the real person
Okay, so
probably is.
let's take this away from Leto himself for a moment and
Yeah.
separate the situation from an individual person and say that when somebody does things like that, don't you think they would often present themselves as uh, a friendly, charismatic
Oh, absolutely.
person? Like, do you think that these are a primary dichotomy of a predator?
I think that's the way that I mean, I watch enough like
I'm gonna say
true crime
me
stuff to
too.
know that, yeah, you know what I mean? Like that you're talking about like Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted
Right,
Bundy, like guys, yeah, that will go out of their way to make themselves seem like, present their attractiveness and present their incredible features and great personality types because they're hiding the god awful things that are behind there. So yeah.
right, right. It's like the dichotomy of being a predator.
Yeah.
You know, not all predators look like predators, and that's
Mhm.
what makes them predators.
Yeah.
You know,
Then this Legend of Zelda movie took a dark turn.
oh man, did
It
it?
didn't even it wasn't even Bill O'Reilly's fault with his already darkness.
He's sitting in the green room right now, guys. He's got all his
Yeah.
makeup on. He's ready to
Com-
go. As a matter of
completely
fact,
naked,
he's
painting the rest of his body now.
right, right. But in his defense, he says that he wears blackface at least 4 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah, he can't sleep without it.
Right,
Needs
right.
to be one with the night.
Exactly. All right, Mike.
Yep.
This would Yeah, this definitely took a dive at the end. I'm sorry for everybody that we depressed. Be aware, predators don't look like predators.
Nope, they look like Jared Leto. All of them. Every single one of them. Every single one of them does a Morbius thing and ruins
Right.
everything. Yep.
You remember when the movie theaters thought people making fun of Morbius by making memes about it meant that they liked it, and they brought
Yeah,
it
they
back
brought it
to
back.
theaters, and
Mhm.
it fucking bombed twice.
Yeah. Yep, that's like naming a boat Bodie McBoatface. They got too into the internet and they're like, wow, maybe we screwed up. Nope, you just got interneted.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
how I ended up with my cat named Catty McCatface. I
Yeah,
let the internet name my cat. So you got to
the
kind of
internet,
expect that.
the internet's undefeated.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
Billy,
true.
in the last episode of season 1 of the Billtendo show, presented by Billtendo, did you learn anything?
I did. I learned that your daughter is going to learn to drift in a Kia.
Nope, Hyundai.
Hyundai Sonata.
Blue Drive.
I knew, huh?
Blue Drive. She's got an electric grid. Blue Drive. That's what makes the
I don't
drifting
know.
so ridiculous. Is that it's a gas
I
electric
don't.
hybrid.
Oh, I didn't even know that. You didn't mention that
Yes, I
before.
did. I said you got like a billion miles a gallon because she got a Blue Drive.
No, you didn't. You didn't mention
Play
that.
it back. You're gonna have to play this your own episode back to see how wrong you are.
I'm not listening to me, and I've listened to you long enough. Thank you very much. I'm not going to
So
go back and listen to you again.
what I learned, and you guys don't get to see, you just get to hear. But what I learned is that Billy takes baby aspirin powdered goodies for him, and he doesn't just take it. He doesn't just take it like by dumping it into a liquid. Like he just pours the powder into his mouth and scowls at the camera while he's doing it. And then he yells at me like I don't watch enough NASCAR, and that's why I don't know what he's doing. But what he's doing is pouring Goody's powdered aspirin into his face, and then sucking down like a dry Jaeger or something afterwards, and then that's how he gets on with his night. Iced tea, whatever.
It's sweet tea, man. I'm from the South, baby.
Anyway, he wants to be Daryl Waltrip's fifth son and end up on NASCAR doing goodies commercials. So
yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
And I actually take BC powders, not goodies. They're rivals. It's like Coke and Pepsi, dude.
There's enough redneck dry mouth aspirin takers for both brands. So
you should try one. They taste disgusting.
I don't think dude, I don't think that's a thing up here.
It is. So listen, in the South, you can buy them at every gas station. And when I came to New York, I told my wife our first time meeting, I'm like, stop at the gas station. I need to get some BC powders. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I explained it to her, and she's like, yeah, they don't sell that here. That's not a real thing. And even I've been living in New York for like 8 years now. I have to get them at either Walgreens, Walmart, or Dollar General. It's the only places that carry them.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not a gas station like you just said. So,
right.
But I have a Walgreens on my route, so I will look in there and then not buy any.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Yes.
Pitch the thing one more time, because they're not going to be able to talk about the system until the next time we come back together.
That's true. Go to Billtendo.com for the Billtendo X Retro Lizard console. It is plug and play, built on a mini PC platform with over 10,000 games and 20 systems. And it is on sale right now for $40 off. Discount will be applied during checkout. Billtendo.com. How's that, Mike?
It's good. I like it. I like to hear you doing well. So this is good for me.
Doing well.
Yeah.
Enjoying life.
I hope you sell a lot over the season. I hope I don't deliver any of them. I hope not to see your name or anything about New York or anything coming into my state from your hands unless it's coming straight to me. So.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So don't do too well.
Okay. I'm gonna do better than that. I'm gonna make you fucking just deliver my packages all week, bitch.
That's fine. I make that makes me money. So even when I tell you no, I mean yes, just like Jared Leto.
All right. Later, Mike.
All right, have a good
one. Bye,
one.
everybody.